welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a video on the LANCOME IDOLE perfumes, breaking them down and explaining the difference between them all and giving you my ranking of them. I have, I think, all but one of them, including the new one that just came out, Idôle Power. So I'll let you know what that smells like. And we've got a little girl here who's come to help out, haven't you, Cleopatra? You're gonna be helping, you're gonna be featuring in the video today. Okay, Wriggle Cat. So cool, so let's get into it. If you are new here, then hello and welcome. I have hundreds of videos like this, over 1,000, breaking down all the LANCOME perfumes, but also perfume notes, new releases, perfumers, so do check out my other content. And if you are a regular, do make sure you're subscribed and give the video a thumbs up, that really helps me. I'll leave the links down below to where you can get these perfumes all around the world. I got this from Look Fantastic, where you can use code LFTFSOKI to get 21% off. Sometimes it doesn't work on the brand new releases, but after a week or so it then starts working, and even if something's already discounted you can still get extra discounts, so it's a really good code. So LANCOME as a perfume brand I actually really rate. I find the perfumes they make tend to be really good for lasting. Their Trésor range I really like. La Vie est Belle is famous for its projection, and the LANCOME IDOLE ones as well really last. The first original LANCOME IDOLE came out 2019 and sort of famous for its very thin bottle, which is really handy for traveling, putting in your handbag. This is the original bottle, which had just it was just rectangular, but more recently they've changed it and put a little circular bit on the end so it can stand up more easily. Now the common theme throughout the IDOLE range is rose. These are all rose perfumes. Really good tribute to rose, and the original is quite a fresh rose and it has a top note which is pear. Now you really do get that pear when it opens. I love pear, it's one of my favorite top notes. It's so juicy, it's not overly fruity, it's more fresh and slightly watery, really lifts the fragrance, and then the rose comes through. And I would say this is quite a modern rose, quite elegant. You know, sometimes the rose note can be associated with more old-fashioned musty perfumes. I don't get that vibe from the IDOLE range. There's also a bit of jasmine in here, which again helps with the projection. So it's certainly floral and feminine, but it really lasts. It's a great perfume. I recommend it all the time. If you like rose, you know, things like Paul Smith Rose, you'll definitely like this. It's great value for money because of that lasting power. It really lasts. And you know, just now I just sprayed it twice and I can really smell it. And I actually think in terms of the ranking that the original is still my favorite, the number one. They haven't beaten it really with any of their other versions. So my second favorite is LANCOME IDOLE Now. This came out more recently. So this one again has that rose note as the main note, but what they've done is they've added a little bit more floral vibes from an orchid note. And what that does, orchid is more delicate I find than rose in this. It sort of lifts it, makes it quite pretty, or even more pretty. And there's also a hint of vanilla which I detect in this. So for me this is probably the most feminine in the range. It's really flowery, pretty, like a proper floral girly perfume. Very wearable. It doesn't have that top note of the pear, but it doesn't need it because the orchid is giving that sort of delicate, pretty vibe. It isn't quite as heavy as the original, quite as strong, but it still has good lasting power. And I think it's probably the safest along with the original out of the others if you're looking for a gift or something. If you know someone likes quite pretty pink feminine perfumes, this is definitely something you'd like. Orchid tends to be in very girly pink type perfumes. I really like the orchid note. Definitely something you could wear though to the office, during the day, shopping. I wouldn't say it was evening because it's quite pretty and yeah, very feminine. So next up we have Idôle Nectar. This has a kind of, I don't know, pearlescent feel to the bottle. Now this one has, again, of course the rose, but then an undertone of caramel and popcorn. Popcorn, of course, I used in my Empress perfume, my first fragrance, and it definitely gives that sweetness, that caramelliness. It's a little bit more grown up, evening, a little bit more sexy, and definitely the rose is just half, the other half is that caramel popcorn note with vanilla. So it feels quite warm and cozy, perhaps more autumn winter, perhaps more evening, because it's a little bit more sexy and grown up. And I find it layers well with the others. If you want to exaggerate the rose, layer this with the original to bring out the rose, but it still has that warmer undertone. So next up in my ranking is Lancome Idôle Aura. So this one is a really vanilla-y take on the original, and it's got a salt note in it as well, which makes it quite clean feeling. I do like this. It does feel quite fresh and clean. You know, sometimes vanillas can be very like sickly sweet. This one is very clean, but the reason why I've ranked it lower is because I don't think it's particularly unique. There's a lot of vanilla perfumes out there. Vanilla and salt is something you get in the Paco Rabanne Olympia range. I do like it, but I also find it's not super heavy either. And yeah, just less unique, but it is still a good perfume, but it doesn't quite last as much of the original. And yeah, it's just a little bit more boring, but it is still nice. So next up is the new Lancome Idôle Power that just came out. So this has quite a beautiful, deep, heavy, rosy colour bottle. Now, I think this kind of replaces the Idôle Intense version, which was discontinued. I believe, well, I would guess it probably was discontinued because maybe there was an ingredient in it that got banned. It was a kind of woody rose, and again, this has that woody rose vibe. This arrived yesterday and I was wearing it all yesterday. It really lasted, and the Power name is definitely appropriate. It's really strong. For me, I found it a bit overwhelmingly strong. It has patchouli in the base, and it reminded me of some like Middle Eastern brands, rose perfumes that are very heady, that mix the patchouli and the rose. And what I love about the original is it doesn't have patchouli and it just lets the rose shine. So if you do like really deep, heavy, intense rose perfumes, this is the one for you from the range. But if you're looking for something more pretty and feminine, one of the others would be more appropriate. But definitely like incredible projection and lasting power. It really is a strong perfume. And to get something like this from one of the Middle Eastern houses, you're probably going to have to pay much more. So it's Soki approved. It's a good perfume. It's just, for me, it was just too heady. Like it just, yeah, it kind of overpowered me. I couldn't stop smelling it, but not like in a good way for me personally. And then lastly, I'm going to list as my least favorite, the Idôle Toilette version of Lancome Idôle, because it didn't have the lasting power of the others, with it not being an eau de parfum. It was kind of a citrusy rose, and that was quite boring. There's a million citrusy rose perfumes out there, so I found that one a bit of like an uninspiring, boring version. So that's why it's my least favorite. The fragrances come in 3 sizes. These are the 50ml sizes that retail for around £90. There are 100ml sizes that are around 130, and then they have these cute little square 25ml sizes that you can get for maybe like £50. Though I do find you can often get really good deals on the Lancome perfumes. They're often discounted on Look Fantastic. And because of the lasting power of most of them, they are quite good value for money. But guys, let me know what order you would rank them in, which is your favorite. Have you tried the new Lancome Idôle Power? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I do read all your comments. And like I said, all the links will be in the description box to where you can get these. But that's it, guys. So thanks so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.